Does your company do ABM or account-based marketing and sales? I'm sure historically you've been scoring your leads at a contact level. You have been scoring your leads at a contact level, right? However, with ABM, as you know, it's more about the target account or the ideal client profile. So you really need a company score. Now, historically, that's been difficult, especially in HubSpot. I mean, have you ever wished that you had a way to easily score a company at a company level in HubSpot? Well, then hold on to your britches, because that's exactly what I'm going to show you today. ABM company scores inside your HubSpot Enterprise Hub. Hey, you know what time it is.
Are you a HubSpot user looking for fun and interactive education that helps you be better at HubSpot? Then welcome to Sprocket Talk.
That's right, it's your boy George B. Thomas from SprocketTalk.com bringing yet another HubSpot educational video. If you, yes you, are a sales, marketing, or service professional looking to learn more about HubSpot and inbound strategies to help your business grow, then guess what? You're in the right spot. Make sure you hit that subscribe to keep learning more and use the comment section below to ask all the inbound and HubSpot questions that you may have. Now, let's get into the good stuff. So to create our ABM company score, first of all, we need to log into HubSpot, and then we want to come up to the top right-hand corner and click on the settings icon. Once we're in the settings area, we're going to scroll down on the left-hand panel and we're looking for properties. Now, once we're in properties, we are going to switch from contact to company properties because we are building an ABM or account-based marketing company score. And with that said, we're going to go ahead and create this property. Now, here's where we're going to fill out company and the group that we want it in, which in this case, we'll do company information, but we'll fill out the label and the description. And in this case, we're going to call it company score, and the description is percentage of good fit for target accounts. After that, we'll go ahead and click next. And of course, you can totally customize this to your needs, whatever you want to call it as far as a label or description. It could be ABM company score or account-based marketing company score, totally up to you. Keeping it simple might be the easiest route, but we'll hit next. And then we can select the field type, which the field type is actually going to be down under values, and it's going to be score. And then we will hit the button that says build score. Now, this is where we can add positive and negative attributes to try to get the score that we want to achieve. In this case, my mind goes from 10 to 100 because it could be 10%, 20%, 30%, 100% that it is a good fit for that target account for your account-based marketing. But you're going to want to have sales and marketing get together and come up with what these positive and negative attributes would be. Now, to start adding these attributes, you can simply come up to the add new set, and you'll see that you have company properties, contact properties, deal properties, ticket properties, all sorts of things that you can do here. But in this case, we're going to stay with company properties, and we're going to look at company information, so about them or associated contacts. So maybe we want to have accounts that have a certain amount of associated contacts or are in a geographical location, or maybe it's some other piece of information that we can get in here as far as all the properties that we have inside of HubSpot. But some things that you may look at is revenue. And so we have company information, total revenue, or annual revenue that you could actually trigger off of. And then say is equal to, is not equal to, is less than, or greater than. So if one of the things for your target accounts was that the revenue was greater than XYZ amount per year, you could set that as a score. When you are dealing with scores, you can go ahead, once you have one built, you can clone it. So if you're trying to kind of do the same thing, but modify it with an and or rule. And again, one of the things I will say is don't forget to add negative attributes as well. One of the best things about knowing who you're trying to sell to is knowing a lot about who you're trying not to sell to. And so having this fleshed out on both sides will really help you come up with a valuable score, a valuable company score for your sales and marketing teams to be able to look at in the future. So in this case, I put annual revenue is greater than 500,000. Now, one thing to take note of, because I did set this property 500,000, is that right now I have the score as 1. So if I hit the little pencil, I can actually make this a 5 or a 10. And again, thinking in a simplistic way of keeping even numbers, and depending if you have 7 or 10 metrics that are going to create a positive attribute and you're trying to get to 100%, you can either divide 100% by those 7 metrics or have 10 metrics at 10 points apiece. But you get the idea. You can have this at 5 points, 10 points, whatever, as well as it could be weighted because some things may be more important. Maybe the first 4 metrics are 10s and maybe the next 3 or 5 metrics are 5s, because that is how you're going to actually score them. So you can get very creative on the points and the way that you score this. Make sure that once you do have those points in there and the rule set, that you do hit save so that you don't lose your information. Now, what will happen is you will have a company score metric that you can go through and look at by going to the contacts and companies. So for instance, if we come over here to Impulse Creative as far as a company, and we then go that we want to view all properties and we want to do a search for company score, we can go ahead and select that and add to your view. We'll go ahead and go back. And now inside the sidebar of your company view, you're going to have a company score. Of course, right now we're showing 0 because HubSpot will take a little bit of time to actually generate those scores that you've put in. So make sure you give it 30 minutes or maybe even several hours or a day. Probably won't take that long, but this score will start to populate once that information is in your database. So there it is. Get your metrics that matter together where it pertains to target accounts or ideal client profiles. Head into your HubSpot hub and build your ABM company score, and then take over the world. Okay, maybe don't take over the world, but sell more and grow better. Did you like this video? Then head over to SprocketTalk.com for more actionable and tactical HubSpot user resources. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that bell as well for those instant notifications, and so that we know that you're part of the Sprocket Talk community. Until next time, make sure you're focused on being a happy, helpful, humble human, and as always, make sure you're doing some happy HubSpotting.